Hello everyone, my name is the Ultimate Spy, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed number 182. And today, I'm going to be reviewing Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the sequel to 2014's Godzilla, and the third installment in the Monsterverse. So, what did I think of Godzilla, King of the Monsters? Oh my god, I loved it. It was awesome. Unfortunately, I did not get the chance to see it in theaters, and if I would have, it would have been even awesomer because I'm sure just seeing it on the big screen would have been amazing. But yeah, this movie is awesome. It's amazing. It's incredible. I don't see why people discriminated the character development. I really don't understand that. One thing I will say about, I guess motives for characters like Emma, she's the mom of Millie Bobby Brown's character. She's like the doctor. I mean, she's the one releasing the Titans for one thing, and like her motive is confusing. I mean, she explains it, but I still don't know why. Like she claims that by releasing the Titans, it's gonna save the world. It's like it doesn't make any sense, which is why I was like confused about that. But at the same time, I really didn't have any problem with the character development. I really couldn't tell about that at all. I mean, it got 41% according to Rotten Tomatoes, but that's just an opinion. I don't agree with that at all. And I know recent episodes of this show, I keep bringing up Rotten Tomatoes scoring, but it's basically my way of comparing what I think of the movie as opposed to what critics thought. Critics and audiences are different. Critics are people who really judge movies based off what they think of it. They really do a big analysis of what they thought. I have a different thing that, as a reviewer, I have a much different idea about what I think of the film. And for this movie, it was just so cool seeing Godzilla battling everyone. I definitely felt like he was weaker in this film, because in the first film, 2014 film, the reboot, although he only got maybe 5 minutes of screen time, maybe more, it was not very long at all. I mean, he did appear, but it was just like, I mentioned it in that review, for a film called Godzilla, you don't got a lot of Godzilla, and they fixed that in this one. But I definitely felt like he was weaker in this film. Like he had to get strength twice. After he was defeated by Ghidorah the first time, he goes to the bottom of the ocean and heals himself, and then Ken Watanabe's character revives him, and then he's like, I'm back, everyone. And then he goes to fight against Ghidorah again, not with a power up. He's all powered up, and then he still managed to be knocked down. And then Mothra has to heal him. It's like, I definitely felt like he, maybe it's what you call writing a monster, where you decide that, this monster's gonna be really weak, and Godzilla is not that weak. He's one of the, in cinema history, he's one of the greatest and well-known monsters of all time. And I just felt like you go from the first film where he was pretty strong, atomic breath, all that stuff. He was awesome, able to take down mutants like that. And then you go to the second film where he just kind of feels downgraded and just not as strong. I don't know what that's about. It was just so, I don't know. I didn't hate it. I just felt like, I felt like he just keeps getting beat down too much, It's kind of like Supergirl in the first few seasons of Supergirl, where she was, weaker for some reason. People are going to complain about that show, about how Supergirl is supposed to be strong in the comics, and she's like Superman, very, very strong. But she's suddenly weak in the show. Same thing with Godzilla in this film. It just kind of felt like he was underpowered. But as for the entirety of the film, the idea of the film, what's really interesting is that last week I mentioned how a lot of films that are released nowadays, the last few years, they take place in the year they released. And the reboot of Godzilla that came in 2014, that was set in that year. This film, Godzilla King of Monsters, is set in 2019, which it makes perfect sense because it's been 5 years since the last film, so it kind of lines up perfectly. And so this does take place during 2019, still 5 years. and it shows like how Godzilla took down Muto, all that stuff, and because of that, the Titans are coming all over the world, and Emma's motive is to activate them, to awaken them, to let them rampage around the world and seemingly destroy it, and by doing that it'll save the world or something like that. It like the other option was the government was going to go and kill them because they're destroying the world, and it's kind of like any monster movie you see where they just destroy the entire city, like they're like the entire planet's just going to go boom. But yeah, oh my god, the fight scenes are awesome. Like when I saw it for the first time, like because I didn't get the chance to see it in theaters, but I still really really enjoyed it. I thought it was so much fun to watch. Honestly, it's so much fun. Just like the visual and the attacking and everything, the fighting, the battling. It's just so awesome to watch. Just seeing everything come together, seeing Ghidorah fighting Godzilla. It's just so cool. You have the three heads, which was actually teased at the end of Kong Skull Island. If you don't know about that, there was a little I guess cartograph on the wall, something like that. It's so cool. But yeah, they have a battle, and there's also Mothra. Again, a lot of these Titans are monsters that were featured in older Godzilla films from like the 50s and stuff. All sorts of things. And I think a lot of them are in terms of the Godzilla world. I think a lot of them are just spinoffs. I can't remember exactly. I never watched them. But yeah, in terms of the Titans themselves, not to mention the battling, but the Titans themselves are 17 of them, and obviously Kong was mentioned. He's from Skull Island. That's kind of like the whole shared universe thing. But the ones in this film are obviously Godzilla, Mothra, which is this giant bug thing. It's basically a giant moth, and the trailer makes it look so amazing. Like just these spread out wings. It's just like that trailer is mind blowing. Like it's the score. It's beautiful and amazing and just incredible. I mean, obviously the trailer makes it look awesome and incredible, and it's still a little touch of the dream. But again, I have my problems with it. But yeah, you have Mothra, which is amazing. You have Ghidorah, which is the three-headed dragon thing or whatever you call it, and then you have Rodan, who is basically I think of it as a modern day pterodactyl, sort of. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I think that's it. I think that's the only Titans that were featured prominently in the film. I mean, there are other ones, like there's the giant mammoth thing. We don't see Kong, but we get reference to it, and then we also have Mutos, which, to be honest, when I really think about it, because I recently did a review of Cloverfield, the monster film that used found footage to tell the story. That one kind of, if you compare Mutos and the Cloverfield monster, they're very similar, very different, but their design is similar because of the long arms and stuff like that. A giant spider thing. It's not exactly a spider, but like it's very spider-like. It has 8 legs and all that. It's giant. I think that's all of them. I think I mentioned all the ones that were featured in the movie. There's also I think the spider one kind of reminded me of the monster from Stranger Things season 3, the shadow thing. I can't remember what it's called, but it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, just a tiny bit. And not only the scene where Godzilla is basically surrounded by all the Titans that are bowing to him because he's the king of monsters. But also there's footage of all the major cities around the world basically getting attacked, Cloverfield style, going crazy. I definitely feel like the pacing. Okay, so some of the criticism toward this film was the pacing. I can sort of see that. I was kind of having problems kind of following what was happening because it kind of went from one part of the world to the next. It's 2 different ships. So I don't know. It kind of felt like things escalated a bit too fast, which is kind of crazy. So I guess I kind of agree with the pacing. It was a bit off. Kind of had some issues. Kind of didn't really know what was happening in terms of where the story wanted to take itself. The scene by scene. I definitely can say there was one scene that was cut from the film that was in a theatrical trailer, and that was the scene where Madison, played by Millie Bobby Brown, also known as Eleven from Stranger Things, she like uses like a radio thing or whatever to like and like I think it's like a tapper, like a sending a message kind of thing, and that was cut. Yeah, it was just really fun to watch this movie. It was just amazing. The sound effects, the visuals, end of the world kind of thing. Godzilla fighting Ghidorah. Actually, what's even cooler is each monster fighting each other. Like you have obviously Godzilla versus Ghidorah, but then you have like Rodan appears, who's the giant pterodactyl style titan who comes after Ghidorah, and they fight, which is awesome. And then you have, I believe it's Mothra versus Rodan. I think Mothra's a big thing in this. Like it's incredible to kind of watch that happen and kind of all come along. One thing I will say about one of the scenes in particular, the scene where the military they have a prototype missile that is headed straight for Ghidorah. They want to destroy them once and for all to get rid, to have this never be over, and they say it's a prototype, and it misses. I mean, well, it doesn't miss. It just kind of doesn't hit. So it's like, well, yeah, that just happened. That's why it's called a prototype. It doesn't always work. It kind of failed. Kind of like how Godzilla, in the first film, his atomic breath was awesome, and then this film was like it completely misses its mark because you have Godzilla's powers, his atomic breath, and then you have Ghidorah, who has like this lightning powers. It's just so awesome. Just seeing, I think the coolest thing about this movie is just seeing the monsters fight. That's just so cool. It is so cool. And what's interesting about the end of the film, like the post-credit scene, which normally doesn't happen, but in this film it did have a post-credit scene. You have the British colonel who is, he's basically like, because Ghidorah's head came off, the original head was salvaged, I guess, I want to call it that, preserved. Obviously, when Ghidorah's head came off, it grew another one, which is disgusting, but also this is just the way it works. But what's interesting is the fact that the end of the film set obviously sets up for the next film, Godzilla vs. Kong, obviously. But then, like, you have the severed head of Ghidorah. What's that about? Is that guy gonna bring Ghidorah back? Have him fight again? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And then obviously, Mothra is coming back. Apparently, there's another Mothra egg that's probably gonna come back. And then apparently there's more Titans coming to Skull Island, which is where Kong's from. So we might see even more Titans in the next film, Godzilla vs. Kong, or is it Kong versus Godzilla? I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure it's Godzilla versus Kong. But yeah, that's gonna be amazing. Just seeing everything come together. It was unfortunate that Ken Watanabe and Solid Hawkins' characters had to be killed off. Unfortunately, that does happen. It's very sad. But yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed this film. It was so fun. So fun. It was awesome. I just feel like the visual effects with the fighting was just so cool. Like, it surprised me. It just surprised me. To have all this happen was incredible. I was so surprised. I was just like, oh, yeah! It's like, seeing monsters fight is so much fun to watch. It's like, I mean, there's obviously the CGI is a lot more improved. It's incredible. I mean, I think it's, in terms of Godzilla, it's pretty much the same, but like, you compare that to the original Godzilla, the 90s one, which wasn't horrible. I didn't think it was that bad, but I could definitely see how the CGI did improve upon it, because some people thought that movie was awful because Godzilla didn't look realistic enough. I can sort of see it, but at the same time, I didn't hate that film. I thought the film was fun, but this movie was awesome. Yeah, totally fun. Worth it. So awesome. I don't know why it got 41%. That's just a critic's opinion, but I don't think that's... I think it's a bit over the top, to be honest. Like, giving a film 41% because people didn't like the story, the character development, or the pacing. That's a bit stupid. Like everything else, like the score, the visual effects, the sequences, all that stuff. It's like, seriously, This movie's awesome. It's like, oh my god, it's the best. I just loved it. I loved every second of it. One more interesting thing about Millie Bobby Brown's character is that one of the guys from Stranger Things, I believe he's in the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things. I might have been in the 3rd one. I don't know. I can't remember exactly if he's actually in season 3 because I don't remember. But the teacher guy, the guy with the mustache, same actor, is in this. So it's kind of like they're working together again on a big movie. And honestly, the camera work definitely felt like Stranger Things a lot. Definitely. I've definitely felt like her connection to the monsters was interesting. Seeing how the monsters react. Obviously, like, some of them are really evil, but most of the time, Godzilla is gonna be a hero. He's just like, he's meant to be like that. He's meant to be like the guy who can win in everything. But I definitely felt like this was a really good Godzilla film. Honestly, it's so much better than the first one. Obviously, not all the characters from the first one are in this one. There's only 2 characters that actually returned, and that's pretty much it. But still, no, I really liked this. It was so awesome. Just seeing where the Titans came from, all this stuff is just the best. Especially when Godzilla lights up, like that's just like, oh my god, yes. Ghidorah with his, like, when he powers up to, like, electrocute people, like the zap power, that is awesome. He is just like, wow. In Rodin, the pterodactyl, like, just awesome. Mothra is amazing. Imagine on the trailer, Mothra was beautiful. Like, seriously. There's a scene where one of the characters, I can't remember his name, the dad, he sees Mothra for the first time. And it's like this ball of light. It's just so amazing. Like, these giant wings. It is incredible. But yeah, I really have nothing else I can say about this movie. It's so fun. I loved it. It's awesome. The designs of the Titans are great. It looks super realistic. And the sounds are really, really good. The battling is super fun to watch. Just like it feels real world. Like, obviously kind of like Cloverfield, but like it feels real world. Like, these Titans are battling, and it's the best thing ever. It's like the most awesome thing you've ever gonna watch. And I'm expecting a lot more for the next film. I don't know who's gonna win or not. I don't know how that's gonna work, and that's not gonna be until March. But like, I'm super excited for that. I don't really understand how the post-credit scene sets up for the next film, but apparently it's gonna wrap up that nice little bow. I don't know what's going on with that, but it still looks really fun. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about Godzilla, King of the Monsters. It is a great film. It's so much fun. It is awesome. It's so awesome. Especially with the stakes at hand, it's just like, the movie has a lot of risk in it for sure. I definitely can say that. Also kind of like being careful about things, especially with the Titans all conversing, because of seemingly the end of the world, or the biggest disaster in humankind, basically. That's kind of the kind of the idea of the film is this big disaster caused by all these Titans that are just kind of showing up all over the place, and especially recently spawned. So probably gonna be paid off in the next film. I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty much what I'm going to say about this film. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think the reason why I'm not giving the perfect score, I normally would, but I pointed out the fact that Godzilla definitely felt like he was a bit underpowered. Like, he just obviously felt a lot weaker than he was in the first one, because the first one he just able to just take the Mutos out like that, and it was like nothing. Like, in this one, it's just like, he's seriously downgraded, seriously underpowered. He had to, like, get strength twice. He's freaking Godzilla. He shouldn't need strength. Like, he's a freaking, like, god monster. Godzilla. Why does he need more strength? He should be invulnerable. He should be indestructible. Like, seriously. I don't get that. But aside from that, it was a great film. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I really, 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 really enjoyed it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode overviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. And if you are new to this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this series and other series that I do as well as other good content. Also, make sure to hit that bell to enable alerts, and unlock alerts, and all good things with another episode. Alright? See you. I also forgot to mention that the main theme for Godzilla was actually featured in this movie. So cool. I loved it. It was just like in the film, but also in the end credits music. Just like, oh my god. But it's like the it was just like it's the original 1954 main theme used in this film. I think it's like I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's the original, not like a remix version. But like, it is so cool to listen to. Just it's so catchy too. It's just like it's featured like. I'm pretty sure the first time Godzilla fights Ghidorah, weirdly enough, it was not featured in the first film. Don't know why. Like they had their own little theme for that one, but they brought it back in the new one for this year, but not the first 2014 version, the first film. Like, I don't get it. Like, why? It's so iconic. Like, it's one of the most iconic pieces of music in history, aside from Star Wars. Like, seriously, why would you exclude it from the first one but put it in the next film? It's like, doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, I freaking loved hearing that thing. It's so catchy. It makes me want to dance. Like, it's like, yeah, like that. It's just like, it makes me so giddy. I just, oh my god, I loved it. So yeah, that was definitely a big highlight of this film.